Well, hey guys, this is DK Spencer, and this is the Freak FSC I built for my boy Jesse. So, I'm actually sending it to him with a couple of C mags right now. This has a Grimberg 12 gram mag in it. Just a quick overview. It's got a Merciless Lethal chamber cap. It has a Milsig O-ring. It's got a Freak barrel. Right now it's got a 6.87 insert in it. Merciless Lethal XL comp. Hogue grip. Very simple build. This does not have a PRV delete. No shimming or anything in the regulator. This is just a really simple build. Is it reliable? Absolutely, if you do it right. That's what we're going to talk about. And then I'm going to show you how to fix it if you don't do it right and you need to. But anyway, so if you guys saw and the videos that I did upload, I was testing it, using this one to test the Home Defense 24, the new barrel, the tuning barrel, and by the way, it's freaking awesome. And testing this barrel, and then I was doing another video where I was testing some other stuff, including a 16 gram mag. And anyway, the video was not that great because I ended up doing a little more shooting than I should have in a too short of amount of time, and I blew the O-ring. So I'm going to show you guys how to fix that problem, but I'm also going to tell you how to prevent that problem. A couple years ago or more, when I first messed with these, I used to think the reliability, whatever. I used to do quite a bit more to them too. But I realized that a lot of the stuff we were doing was just unnecessary. So one of the things that I learned that I was messing up with, and like I say, this is, back in the day or whatever, but one of the things I learned that I was messing up with was shooting ammo that was too big for the barrel. All right, so with a Freak barrel, it's really easy, and with anything, it's really easy, but a Freak barrel especially, to check your ammo size. All right, just pull the sleeve out that you're using, take the balls, or, projectiles, and drop it through. If it goes through that easy, if you gotta, shake it or maybe tap it with your finger and it'll come on through, then you are golden. Especially if it, is just enough to where you actually have to tap it a little bit, then it's a really good bore match size. This is about a perfect bore match. These are the Salt Supply Company balls, and this is a 6.87 insert. I measured these, got 6.86, 6.87, so they're perfect for this. If you put your ball in like that and then you've got to take a stick or something and push it down through, then when you shoot that, there's a really good chance, and people get it in their head because of firearms and stuff. Now in a firearm, you've got hot lead, you've got, a lot more joules, and well, I already said it's hot and it's lead, so soft, hot, and more power. So in a firearm, your bullet is actually conforming to the inside of the barrel, so you get a perfect seal. All right. In this stuff, we're dealing with hard balls. If you're not dealing with hard balls, you're probably doing something wrong, because anything with much power, you really don't want to be shooting soft balls in it because it's not going to cycle right. You're going to chew them up. You're going to have jams, blah, blah, blah. So these balls are hard. They're not going to change shape in a barrel, all right? Not with the power that's here. So what's going to happen is all that back pressure is going to go against your O-ring, and you're going to blow your O-ring, all right? So that's one really good way to blow your O-rings, is to try to shoot ammo that is too big for the barrel that you're using. So always check your ammo. You should really check any ammo, even if it's advertised at whatever size or whatever. You should always check it. Just to be sure, because quite frankly, some ammo does not, it's not consistent. All right. So that's number one. All right. The number two way that you can mess up one of these is if you leave it charged for an extended period of time. So you twist your CO2, you pierce it, you put it on your car seat for a couple of days, you go to shoot it, there's a really good chance you're going to blow your O-ring. Now, don't get me wrong, there's people out there that may do that and say, hey, I don't have any problem with it. But trust me, from a lot of experimenting and stuff, trust me, there's a way bigger chance that you're going to pop an O-ring if you're leaving it charged versus only charging it when you get ready to shoot it. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. if you're getting ready to be in a situation or in an area to where there's a really good chance you're going to need the thing and you want to charge it and have it ready so all you got to do is pull it out and shoot if you need to, I'm not against that. Don't get me wrong. A couple hours is one thing. Overnight's a different ballgame, okay? Days is stupid. But anyway, because it's going to leak down anyway, most likely. But anyway, you get my point. So, number 1, size your ammo. Number 2, don't leave it charged unless you're actually using it, at least for any length of time. And number 3, the most important, and why this one is getting a new O-ring, is freezing your Milsig O-ring, and all your O-rings, but your Milsig's the one that's probably going to go first. So CO2, as you guys have probably seen, as you use CO2, it gets colder. All right. The more CO2 you use, the faster the more, you get what I'm saying. the faster the CO2 goes out of the cylinder, the colder that cylinder is going to get. So when I shoot a mag, and first of all right, I tune stuff, and most people that has any sense does. You want to tune it to where you get the most power out of it and finish the mag. Now, you can tune one of these to where you're getting 100 joules, but you've got a finite amount of CO2, and you're only going to get a couple of shots, right? Well, quite frankly, I'm a really good shot, and I would rather have 6 shots instead of 2 shots, okay? Even if those 2 shots are more powerful. I might miss. There's a way less chance of me missing than probably 90% of the people out there using this stuff, okay? So for the people who really aren't marksmen and stuff like that, you need all the shots you can get, not a Hail Mary that will kill somebody and nothing else if you miss, all right? So when you finish a mag, like if I shoot something with this much power and shoot all 6 rounds and the mag's empty and, the CO2's empty, or at least close enough to where you're not going to get any more shots out of it. It's not going to matter because it's, part of the mag and the CO2, like when it's empty and you eject it, you know what I'm saying? So you might as well put a new CO2 in it when you reload the mag. You're never, especially anything tuned for less lethal, you're never going to get 2 mags worth out of it unless you're not really tuned for less lethal on one cylinder. All right. So when I pop one of these out after I've shot all 6 rounds, they're literally going to have frost and ice on them that they're so cold. Well, what you need to realize is that the same applies for the internals of this, right? So you're freezing, and you can feel the sides of them. They'll be cold. You'll even see condensation and frosting on the outsides of them if you shoot them enough. Not frosting, but you'll see, you'll see like the condensation or whatever, and touch it and it's freaking cold. So anyway, and if the outside of it's cold, you can imagine how cold the inside of it is. All right, well, O-rings, you take anything that's plastic, rubber, PVC, or any other space-age polymer or whatever, you take anything basically and you freeze it, it's going to change shape, all right? O-rings are made to go in a groove in your heat core, all right? There's not a lot of room for error. You want it to be the size that it is intended to be. If your O-ring shrinks from cold, it's going to come out of that groove when all this power hits it, right? So I'm not saying don't rapid fire one of them, all right? I'm not saying that. But if you are rapid firing it, you're shooting yourself in the foot, unavoidable pun, because the power is going to be less than what you could have had if you took your time. So anybody that's messed with CO2 much knows that, and like I was saying, the more CO2 comes out, the faster the CO2 comes out, the colder it gets. Well, the problem with that is the colder that CO2 gets, the less pressure you have. So you're actually decreasing the velocity of your shots by rapid firing because you're supercooling your CO2, and gases expand with heat. You see what I'm saying? So you want your CO2 as warm as possible. That's why people will heat up CO2 to get more power and stuff, which is silly, but so if you heat it up to get more power, obviously if you're cooling it off excessively, you're getting less power, right? All right. So, can you rapid fire it? Yes. Should you? No. But here's the other thing. if you're not rapid firing it, let's say you're taking 3 shots or 3 seconds between each shot, but you're going boom, 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 another mag, boom, or it wasn't 3 seconds, but we don't have time for all that crap. You get my point. You're shooting it, you're taking your time, you're not rapid firing it, but you're going mag after mag after mag. You get about 4 mags into it, and there's a really good chance you're going to blow your O-ring, all right? Maybe 3, depending on, like I say, more powerful it is, the quicker it's going to happen, all right? And, like, you know, to take a sidestep here, like you take a patrol carbine, right? You tune it to max, and you put an 88 gram CO2 on it. You're going to get more power out of that 88 gram CO2 than you are air in most cases, but you're going to fail probably in your first mag if you've got it cranked up to death, all right? Because with that 88 gram CO2, you're actually putting liquid CO2 into the thing because it's sitting sideways like this, and it's got a lot more liquid CO2 in it. So when we first started building the patrol carbines, like, I don't know what, 2.5 years ago or so, we were realizing that, yeah, the CO2 gives you fantastic numbers, but it's completely unreliable. You put an air tank on it, and I've got one right now that hasn't blown an O-ring, and it's over 70 joules and hasn't blown an O-ring in over 2 years. So, and you take one of these, same thing. You put, put a rear air adapter on it and run an air on it. You're no longer freezing your O-rings. Rapid fire all you want to. Shoot it back to back all you want to, because nothing is freezing in here. So just bear that in mind. If you're using CO2, every shot you take, it's getting colder and colder. So I suggest anybody shoot a mag through one, set the thing down, talk, chill with your boys, whatever. Reload it, take your time, feel the sides of it. If it's friggin' ice cold, maybe give it a little bit. And I know people don't want to hear that. People want to just boom, boom, boom. But these aren't firearms, okay? And if you want to do that kind of stuff, go with air, not CO2, because air don't cool. All right, or at least not like CO2 does. It does a little bit, but not like CO2. So anyway, so there's the 3 things that you need to watch out for. And if you pay attention to all 3 of those things and you seated your O-ring right to start with, then most likely you're not going to have any issues, okay? So we're going to get down to the nitty gritty here. So first of all, we're going to eject the magazine, and then we're going to get the barrel out by pushing in, turning counterclockwise a little bit, and pulling it out. We'll go ahead and put that back together just to kind of keep everything in one place. Wicks and detents, if you try them, you will love them. All right, so now, and I should have said this, but a lot of times you want to loosen your screw here a little bit, because depending on if you get the screw size perfect or whatever, or how tight it is, whatever, you could it could come actually through there and be, hitting your barrel. You don't want to scratch your barrel up, so make sure that's not, tightened all the way down, unless your screw is, the perfect length where it's not, coming through and hitting it. So anyway, we didn't do that, but we were good because it wasn't an issue anyway. So we're going to remove this screw here. All right, put that guy aside and take that off. All right. Then this one back here is the same. And we're going to do that too. Yeah. All right, then we're going to grab a smaller size here. And we're going to take these guys out. I don't know what that was. All right, once all that's done, you can just separate that out. All right, so the little rubber things that go on there to hold the trigger on. All right, so here's my philosophy on that. That bar is inside here. That bar is held to the side of that, which holds that like that. I throw every one of those away on VKSs and FSCs pretty much as soon as I forgot to take spring out. No biggie though. Pretty much as soon as first time I take them apart, that thing goes. It never gets put back on. So, whoopsie. So anyway, if that's on there, pop it off. Leave it off. Come on, be cool like DK. But anyway, then you're going to take this screw out here. That is the last one that holds your reg on. All right. Then we're going to take a 7/8 wrench, or I think I might actually have it in the back room because I was working on something else. Anyway, Wixon makes a tool that works too. It's pretty cool. Less chance of scratching anything up with the Wixon tool. So I'm just going to be careful with this. But so you're going to unscrew that like that. And actually, I'm going to take the old wedding band off there, because that's also a good way to scratch stuff up. It's usually a rule of mine. I don't have any jewelries on when I'm working on anything like this. But I think I'm all the way out. But not. So anyway, all right, reach in there, gently push it. It's always important to keep this straight. You don't want to be, jerking around and stuff, because these O-rings here, right here and here, you don't want to mess those up. So it's important to straight in and out. All right, so now that's removed. And again, this is only going to work on one that's this is only going to work on one that's got a chamber cap, because otherwise you're going to be taking the rear cap off and then pushing it out, whatever. So little different procedure here. So the Milsig actually looks good. And let me actually tell you something else that can happen. Sometimes you can freeze your Milsig to the point where it's small enough to where it acts like it's blown, but it's not, and it stays in the groove, and then when it warms back up, it's perfectly fine. And that's probably the case on this one. I could probably put this one back together and it would be fine. But I wanted to do this anyway, so here we are. All right, now, you actually need 2 7/8 wrenches. So put one on your heat core there in that groove. And you can do this now, or you can do this step in a minute after you take the O-ring out, but whatever. So go ahead and take that out so that you have access to that. Check your O-rings on this thing, blah, blah, blah. All right, so take you a dental pick and just stick it in there and get that guy out. And that actually looks like a very good O-ring still. So that is most likely what happened with this one, is I just shot it so much it froze and it acted like it was blown. And when it expanded, it's fine. All right. Grim bag. So get you a handy dandy new Milsig O-ring. And then I highly recommend you pick up one of these from John Wixon. This one's for FSCs. This one's for VKSs. I'm getting ready to do some VKS stuff, y'all. I'm serious. I feel like I've neglected my babies. So, yeah. I'm definitely going to be getting into some more VKS videos very soon. I feel really bad because I feel like that's kind of my thing. my thing. So, All right. Now, I don't know why I got fuzz in here, but anyway, that fuzz will blow stuff up, son. All right, so definitely get you some laceration grease or whatever you want to use. I like the First Strike laceration grease. And you want to, massage this thing a little bit, get it good and in there and get it a little warm, a little more pliable. All right. And with the Wixon tool, you're just dropping it down there and that lets it not, get out of the way. And I'm going to promise you, this is 1,000,000 times better than any other method you can use. So you pinch it a little bit, which is easier to do when it's not all greasy, but kind of pinch it a little bit and get it to go in like that, get it to start. Once you get it to start, I usually will take my fingernail and push this side in, push it in like that. All right. Now, that one is not seated right. You can look in there and tell if they are or if they're not, typically. Now, let's see. Yeah. What am I looking for? A lot of times you can just take and put your bolt on, and your pin will push it on into where it's supposed to go. And that is exactly what happened. So I'm taking and looking all around here to make sure everything looks perfect, symmetrical. Very important to be symmetrical. Make sure it don't look twisted. You can actually twist these. And if you go and go to put this on your bolt and it's like tight, like you got to really push it, then you're not seated correctly. Okay, it should be a little bit of friction, but like not much. You know, like I'm talking, you know, pinky pushes. Oh, I just made that up. Pinky pushes. So anyway, once you get that done, you're going to go ahead and put your chamber cap back on. And obviously, we're going to retighten that. Okay, make sure that end cap is good and snug. Then you're going to go ahead and put your bolt on. And what I do is I just literally put it on enough to where it won't fall back off, right? That's it. Now, at this point, I'm going to wash my hands. All right, went to wash my hands and ended up eating a Rachel. Anybody don't know what a Rachel is? It's a Reuben with turkey. But anyway, my wife was good enough to have one ready. So now what we're going to do, and I always like to wash my hands after that because that grease is horrible and you get it all over the slide and whatever. But anyway, leaving it pre-extended like that, or pre-advanced, you're going to, and I like to actually set it up like that and just drop it in, right? So, and then push it straight till you get to the threads. And then we're going to tighten it down. Okay. Snug it up good. Get unnecessariness out of the way. Now, it's important for that to be pre-advanced because if not, then it's basically not going to cock when you put the spring in the barrel in. All right. So this part here goes over there like that. See? All right. So you need to make sure that that's advanced past where this goes. I find it's easier just to barely stick it on enough till it holds, and then you got plenty of room there. You know it's more than advanced enough. You can go ahead and put your regulator on, hook that up, put this screw back in. Tighten that down good. Okay. And you're going to clamshell this back together, just like that. Put the little guys in. Okay, flat screw goes in the back. Now we're back to the bigger. Okay, snug that down. We're going to put our comp on. We're going to put this screw in. So what I like to do is screw it all the way in, back it out just a couple, drop the spring in, drop the barrel in, twist and turn. Always look down your handle and make sure that you see both your detents and everything's lined up the way it's supposed to be. Then come back out here and go ahead and snug that back down. All right, now that's it. That's done. Oh wait, there's one more step. Wipe off any of the grease that you did get on it. Right. Make it all nice and shiny and pretty. Now, we'll obviously test it, but this video is long enough. I'm not going to do that. We've, shot it before. I know it's going to work. I'll test it before I send it, but that's the gist of it. And you're good to go. Yeah. Oh, wait. You do have to put CO2 and ammo in this, and then put this in here, and then twist that, and then you're really good to go. All right, guys. Look, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and check out our Facebook group. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description for that too. And yeah, good times. All right.